that sort of add up to a philosophy of life, and I built up my philosophies around that. So don't argue, don't be political. I would never vote for a president in my life. We had the Vietnam War going on. We had a book called The Pentagon Papers from Daniel Ellsberg in Berkeley that just showed all the lies the government told to get support for a war. Shouldn't have been. And I just decided I just don't want to be in that world at all. I want to grow up, and my dad had told me, how far you go in life is usually dependent upon how well people like you. How far you go in business, how well liked you are. So I always wanted to be liked by people. And I remember even in early psychology classes, before I was like a major, I would always pay attention, oh, the one thing that every culture has is a smile, you know, and just, I don't know, just be nice to people and also care. Like, you know, when you watch Disney movies when you're very young, you know, and I don't know, Goofy's going, he wants to win the race so he can support the orphans with the baseball diamond, that sort of thing. So always help those who are in need became very strong in my life. And I remember there was a time when, I also told my dad when I was in 6th grade, I'm going to be 2 things. I'm going to be an electrical engineer first, like you. And second, I'm going to be a 5th grade teacher, like a teacher that meant a lot to me. And I'm going to be it because young children really can, that support can make a huge difference in how they turn out. Of course, you decide whether you like school or not by 2nd grade. 8 years old, ask any 2nd grade teacher. 8 years old, and tell which ones aren't going to ever come back to really working on school. We don't do a very good, we don't really take a lot of psychology into account in that, or in hiring groups for business. That's where you should really get the personality tests and pick ones that match to work on in group. The best jobs get done. So anyway, I forget what I was going to say.
I think you answered the question pretty well. So one question, have you ever have a prank with the late Steve Jobs when you guys were younger?
Oh, yes. Well, first of all, I knew a lot of people know Steve Jobs before he left Apple and after he came back, and there was some kind of change in there. But I knew it was Steve Jobs Zero. He's my favorite one. For 5 years leading up to starting Apple, he'd come into town about once a year to see my latest invention and turn them into money. You know, for both of us. He had no money. He had no money at all. I had a job as an engineer, so I was always fine. And we would play pranks together. We played pranks on each other. I mean, one year, I know we went back to our high school. I was actually going to Berkeley by then, I think. Or 2 years in a row, and we made a big sheet with, so when the seniors walked off the football field after graduation at Homestead High School in Cupertino, the top of the C building, a sheet would fall down with a Brazilian best wishes sign. Good luck. And so we worked on that with an artist friend, a mother of a friend of ours who was kind of an artist, and it took us 4 days and nights to figure out a scheme with 2 big ramps of wood. We were up there all night for 2 nights, and one of us would go down by Homestead Road and be on a little wired intercom to the others to warn if a cop came. We could run quick. And that was the next year. We had another one. Steve Jobs knew. I got a janitor to tell him how the sprinklers in the school work. And the parents have to sit on the football field during the graduation. There's one master switch and then one for each field. And then my idea was, okay, and then after we attach our little fishing line we can pull to set off the sprinklers, we're going to epoxy the thing shut so a janitor can't run over and turn it back off. But that one didn't come because our friend had to pick his way into a guy who at Berkeley, his code name was Groucho, phone freaking days, and he picked his way in, he couldn't pick his way into that shed. So we didn't pull that one off. Another one I pulled on Steve Jobs was also at our high school late at night at midnight. We did a lot of things at that high school, the dark nights. I went back and I installed a switch, I was phone freak, installed a switch you could kick, and it would give both payphones a dial tone, back in the days of payphones. And one time, Steve was testing out this thing called the Blue Box, calling his friends or whatever, and I just like to explore the network of the world, the phone network of the world with mine, and we're sharing it, and he couldn't hear me, but I made an emergency interrupt call to him from Alex Bell, who was the chief special agent of the phone company in San Jose. And he hung up the phone so quick, we gotta run. What? They're here, we gotta run. We had a lot of other great stories. Some are in my book, I was.
Thank you for sharing that. We have 10 more minutes. I know you wanted to take some questions from the students. So anybody have questions? I believe we have 2 questions we can ask.
Yes.
Yeah, I was wondering, what's the most recent technological advancement that you're excited about?
You know, for quite a while, of course, it was smartphones, and I got sort of tired. I don't really care to look at smartphones anymore. They're all kind of good, you know, they all kind of suffice. And I started looking at electric cars and self-driving cars, and I really believed cars were going to drive themselves, and singularity meant we were going to have conscious computers that feel the way I do and think the way I do. And then I totally, after saying that for about 3 years, Elon Musk and Stephen Hawking and Bill Gates came in saying the same sort of thing. And I rethought it. I don't like to be in the same group as others. I rethought it. Yeah, no, we build technology to help us with our human needs. And that's all, it's just only doing good like it always has. The wheel helped us do more than we could without it. And I just don't believe artificial intelligence is going to get like a human brain. It's just the state of art of computer stuff today is called, comes from machine learning, and it's artificial intelligence, and it doesn't think, and it doesn't make mistakes, even driving a car that the dumbest human driver would not make. The algorithms will make it. And I don't believe we're ever going to get to that state, but I could be wrong, because you never know what you don't know. Somebody could, more data sets and groups and things that you're looking into. I'd just rather say let's use it for the best we can today and get the best out of it. We've never talked about a machine that is so truly smart that it says, what do I do today? We just don't have that whole imagination. I mean, I'm driving my car all the time. I can see things way in advance that I better start taking action on. It never does my Tesla when I drive it. Right. I'm in town now. I'm in the Bay Area, so I only drive the Chevy Bolt EV. It's an electric car. I want to be part of the electric car transformation, but it has a lot of advantages over the Tesla, except for road trips. And my wife and I love to drive together. We can some music, and some audio books. It's a really good thing, and we take our dogs with us, so we got the whole family.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other question?
So if you hadn't co-founded Apple with Steve Jobs, what would you be doing today?
If I hadn't? I was a superior electrical engineer. I was actually designing the hottest product in the world, like today's hottest smartphone, and I did not have a college degree yet. And I was designing it for Hewlett Packard. I didn't come back to Berkeley. I took 10 years off before I got back from Berkeley from Apple after I had a plane crash. And finally got my last year, the proudest day of my life, my Berkeley graduation, and the picture holding a couple of my kids. So what would I be doing today if Apple had not happened? Or do you mean if I was young today, that age today?
Yeah.
Oh, if I was that age today, it's a different question than if Apple hadn't happened. I don't know, I'd probably be off in one of these lesser travel, looking for the more unusual things. And, I don't know if it would be, in the genetics area. You read the same things I do. A lot of the hot topics that interest us all, because they can do amazing things that are more powerful than people really believed was possible, in a sense. So I think I'd still be attracted to interesting things. I'm attracted to interesting people and interesting products more than even accomplished ones. So I don't know where I'd be. Probably electrical engineering. I still think computer science, but both arts were part of mine, not just CS.
Yeah.
We have time.
Analog engineering was very difficult mathematics. I love that.
So what was your original definition of success, and how has that changed over the years?
Original definition of success was when I formulated my philosophies at 20 years old, and it was just happiness only. It was how happy are you? And some people, if you know what, heck, that's good for everyone. If making a lot of money and having a big company and making decisions that change the world a lot is your definition of success, that's what makes you happy, good. But it's not for me. So I really didn't need Apple or anything to have as good a life as I could ever imagine. I had nice formulas and they worked to this day. Yeah, I only told you a few of them, the principles. Okay.
One more question? Last one?
Yeah, what do you think about the future of human-computer interaction, like virtual reality or things like smart speakers like Alexa?
I think smart assistants have made a lot greater inroad than virtual reality. Virtual reality, of course, applies to gaming. I'm not still gaming on. I've had some of the most incredible experiences in my life in virtual reality. But I look back in time, and when a new product, a new feature, a new way an operating system work, anything, a new interface to the user and computer, even a mouse. These are what, if you really look at have an emotional feeling, those are usually the ones that come and make it. And I have the greatest emotional feelings about live VR even. Watching basketball games and watching concerts and you're right there on the stage. And so I hope that persists. Right now, I don't do much VR, but we live in the one part of Silicon Valley that doesn't have broadband. Period. No broadband wires. We can pay a huge amount of money and get a little bit less than broadband but by microwave. Okay.
Thank you so much, Steve. Appreciate your insight.
Hi everyone. So hopefully you have gained some insights through the Fireside with Steve Wozniak. So before we leave, I'd like to give a round of applause for all the teams who participated. And all the judges who showed up here and helped us judge the team. We do have some gifts for the judges who came, and they'll present it.